Hi, I'm Allison from Move Smart Movement and the Move Smart Method for Osteoporosis. And today we're going to talk about varieties of ways to sit well when you have osteoporosis. So the first thing to notice about sitting is for many people, even in a chair, sitting involves either kind of being slumped forward or thinking, wow, I need to have really good posture. And there's this kind of uncomfortable push up forward into good posture. Neither of those is ideal either for your spine or for your overall comfort. And so the best solution I have come up with is a half dome. I'll put a couple of links down below for where you can get them, or even just a rolled up towel, but something that allows your pelvis to stack. So see here, I have pretty good mobility, but see how this right here is a little bit curved and I can force it up, but I'm really working at it. When I sit on the half dome, see how all the natural curves of my spine are there? This is totally a relaxing position for me. This is a great place to start. Find the height where you don't have to push yourself into having good posture. Good posture is often actually a bit problematic, the forcing we do to get there, so that your spine can be nice and long, your core can be working optimally with the least amount of effort. So if we take that as our starting point, you can sit with your legs hip distance apart, just your basic standard sitting position. You can cross one ankle over the other knee. You can then lean a little bit forward. I call this the paying attention in a Zoom call position, because you can be like, I am totally paying all my attention to you. Also, I'm getting a nice stretch. You could add some ankle circles and nobody will know. They'll think you're only paying attention to the bottom line for the last month. And because variety counts, the same shape, but on the other side is also a whole new exercise. You can change the height of one leg or the other leg, right? Changing up your sitting positions when you are in a chair is really helpful, right? Bringing one leg out to the side, bringing the other leg out to the side, moving your feet around. All of those things help to break up sitting into a series of different geometric shapes, which is really great for your hips. It's also nice for your spine. But if you want to play around with how to sit on the floor, you have even more options. So let's take a look at that. If you're not sure about getting up and down from the floor, you can go and check the video about getting up and down from the floor, which you can find here. So let's look at coming down onto the floor, onto something that's got a little bit of height to it, which I talked about in that video. For most people is the floor equivalent of putting something under your pelvis so that your spine can be nice and long. So you can go for a cross-legged sitting position, remembering that sitting up on something is going to hopefully allow for this nice comfy straight up and down spine where you're not having to force yourself into good position or good posture. Big quotation around good. Whatever feels good to you is pretty good. And it counts as a whole different sitting position to just change over which leg is in front. It will feel super unnatural and it's a really great kind of different movement opportunity for your joints and for your brain. If you have a fair degree of mobility in terms of your hamstrings, you can bring your legs out front. Less mobility, bring your legs out to your sides. Much easier position, a little bit more inner thigh stretch potentially, depending on how you are organized. You bring your feet together. That's also a good one. You could sit with one leg down and one leg up, and you'll be shocked to know that changing over to the other side also counts as a different sitting position. You could come off the thing that you're sitting on and go for a kneel with your toes tucked under you. This requires a lot of mobility, right? Lots of toe mobility, lots of knee mobility. This is a great position to go from sitting to standing, and from standing to sitting, assuming you have the range and the control. You can have your toes flat. Again, lots of knee bend here, but a different position for your feet. You could come into a kind of sitting half kneel. That's kind of a nice one. So really, when it comes right down to it, it doesn't really matter how you sit. What's more interesting is, can you just keep changing how you sit? It's one of the benefits of sitting on the floor. You'll get uncomfortable and you'll just move, right? You'll just change position because things get tired in ways that they don't when you're sitting on a sofa or a comfy chair, right? If you've got something you can just sink into, you will in fact just sink into it. That's just how it goes. But the floor is hard and it's providing feedback to your muscles, your soft tissues, and your nervous system that will say, this is no longer comfortable. I want to change these pressures. And so the more often you change position, the better it is. And really, as long as you are at a height that allows you that kind of non-forced positioning, all of this is fine for your spine. This is all fine for osteoporosis. The places where we want to limit the number of sitting choices we have is if you're dealing with limited range in your hips and knees. That means you do most of your position changing through your spine. And if that's the case for you, you're mostly going to start on a chair and then gradually decrease the height that you sit at, but keep changing your position on the chair as much as you can, because that's going to make it easier to gradually decrease your height, right? And then you go onto a footstool, and then you come onto a bolster, and then you come onto your half dome on the floor, right? Which is lower than the bolster. And all the same things apply. Cross leg, other cross leg, one leg out front, two legs out front, other leg out front. All of them are still going to work when you're sitting on a half dome closer to the floor. So if you have other ideas, let me know in the comments. Give me some sitting position inspiration. If you have questions, you can pop those in below, and I'll see you in the next one.